There's a scene in Genshin Impact, one of the main story quests, where A fights the Raiden Shogun. And the interesting thing is that the two characters are actually the same person. Just one is kind of the alter ego of the other. And it's a difficult battle because when you battle yourself, you're fighting a identical opponent. So that battle between the two characters goes on for quite some time because they're equally matched. And it's that way in life. We sometimes have to battle ourselves. We have to battle the person who we used to be. Because we start off thinking we're going to do ourselves a favor by creating rules that we want to follow. We say, this is the standard I set. This is who I am. This is what I represent and what I'm going to be. And there's elegance in making rules for everything because it helps us to have a sense of self, to know who we are. It helps us to have continuity and consistency. But then sometimes we grow as individuals, we evolve, and we realize that what we used to think was right isn't the answer after all. That's not to say that it's not something that has value. Usually our old perspectives from the past do have value. They are realizations that we've reached for a reason. It's not like you don't have any redeeming qualities in your past, but you also don't want to be defined by your past. And sometimes it's hard to move forward, to embrace new ideas, because we're always constrained by the self-limiting beliefs that we had before. It's kind of like if you were a certain kind of employee, or you behaved a certain way around your friends, and then you think that you want to maybe change your behavior, you want to change your lifestyle or break a habit or something. And it's hard to do that because you know that the people who knew who you were before are going to judge you. And so it's hard to break the cycle. Or maybe it's just within yourself. You think, well, maybe I want to be a different person today than the person I was before. But then there's all of these rules you have in place, things that you do because you think that they're going to make your life better. But in reality, they cause problems in your life. Like maybe you chase success. Maybe you're really into being competitive. Maybe you want to have career success, and that's a good thing, and it's helped you to be successful, and it's invaluable in many ways. But it's also something that is not going to be a good end in itself. Because if you're extremely focused on success at the expense of being maybe mindful or being thoughtful of others, or finding a place of peace in your life, then, well, there's not a lot of value in being a one-sided person who doesn't have breadth of perspective. We want to change, we want to evolve as individuals, but sometimes we have to fight our old self in order to do that, and that's hard. So to go back to the story in the game, the real deal breaker, the change maker in the quest, is that the voices from the past are always there to be our guide, and they help us to maybe be the tiebreaker, right? Like, you try to fight yourself, you try to overcome your own internal demons, but it's hard to do that because you need something outside yourself to help. So the character in the story, she has this weapon, and the weapon was infused with the strength of her predecessor. So when she needed it, she was able to win the battle against herself because she had a weapon which included part of the spirit of someone who had lived a long time ago. And, isn't that kind of true in life? That's kind of how we overcome things, right? Like, we don't have the strength necessarily to overcome ourselves in many situations. We get stuck in that feedback loop, trying to figure out how to think things through and come out on the other side. And it just feels like we're always going in circles. But then maybe it's a good friend who always is there for us. Maybe it's a good book or a work of philosophy. I think about things like this when I read the works of someone like Marcus Aurelius. All the way back 2,000 years ago, someone facing completely different experiences in life, somebody in a different age, manages to have wisdom, and it eventually turns into something which helps us in the modern era, far removed, to find our footing and to capture an inkling of spiritual truth. So maybe the lesson there is that no matter how strong you are, you're never going to really be able to defeat yourself in a duel, because you just don't have the strength unless you can conjure the power of something beyond yourself. Philosophy, friendship, other people who are there for you, ideas that have existed since the basement of time. It's important for us to reach out beyond ourselves, because many times we just don't have the capacity to progress if we rely on ourselves alone, just because usually the adversary that we have to overcome is actually ourselves, and we don't have enough mental strength to overcome ourself unless there is something other than ourself that enters the equation and gives us the strength to change and to grow. And the other lesson there is just the importance of growth, because there's many times when things that worked really well in the past don't work as a permanent solution for the future. And so we need to be able to say, the person I used to be may indeed have been the person that I should have been. It might be the person I needed to be in the time, but that doesn't mean that it's the person I ought to be tomorrow. And even if it's hard to change, even if it means facing your old habits, it means overcoming your old bias, it means giving up things that have been familiar. It's important to be willing to change, because The defense mechanisms, the walls that keep enemies out, can also be the barriers that prevent future success and growth and blessings from finding us. So we got to be willing to change, and we also have to be willing to let others in, whether it's other people or other ideas, so that we aren't living in an echo chamber, always trying to battle adversaries which match us blow for blow, because they are actually the demons of our own past. As always, strive to be happy. Good luck on your adventure. Till next time, thanks so much for watching.